the Ouija board and we wrote a song about it. So we wrote a song about pretty much everything that we did.
Right.
And we stopped playing the Ouija board because like we was sitting on a bunk bed and Lazy was asking who was gonna die first in his family. And he was like, when
Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there's having a good Saturday, y'all. We're back. We're back with another video like we never left. Another hour banger coming to you guys on this beautiful Saturday evening. Hope everyone's having a good evening, y'all. I got me a little non-alcohol brew I'm sipping on over here. Starting the Easter celebration a little early, y'all. And I'm kicking it with you guys. But I ain't going to sit here and talk too much, y'all. Let's save that for the end of the video. Make sure you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Number one, it's not what you think it is. Number one, not coming from other planets. The evidence doesn't suggest that.
Interdimensional.
Yes. And the reason is because time is parallel. It's not linear. Or it's not like we start here and go forward in time. Time is side by side, which means everything in the past and the future is existing in this moment, but within different frequencies. So a civilization that's at the end of their technological cycle could build a submarine that changes its voltage and materializes in that same location just into our timeline, and then fucking it's crazy.
Have you ever had any like glitches in the Matrix where like
yes,
time sped up for you, or like I've had that a couple times?
Weird things. So there's a consciousness aspect to this. Like you have to think of like consciousness is like, it's like the mind of God, you know. It's not a dude in a toga with a crown of thorns making Jupiter, you know. It's like everything you see is one band of frequencies. The highest frequency is light, unified mind. The lowest frequency would be blackness, absence of love, absence of whatever. And physical matter is somewhere right in the middle, right? So you have the ability to tune up higher or tune down lower, and behavior and all these things and time, and it all fucking comes together. Your brain is what's called a transducer. You're an antenna.
What does E.T. say? Like, E.T. phone home, right? He says phone home? Wait, what? You remember that? No, he says E.T. That's it. E.T. phone home. No, that's it. Yo, Gavin is an NPC. No, you can't say that. Fam, how are you gonna tell me he says phone home? He says Gavin's it's like this. E.T. No, stop. And then he shuts up. Why? He says phone home? Is that the Mandela effect? Gavin, are you real, bro? No. They replaced him. No, They replaced this motherfucker, bro. Augmented reality. You actually never heard E.T. phone home? No. E.T. phone home. You never heard that? No, it's just E.T. Fam, he doesn't say anything. He's like alien. Bro. How does he know English, fam? Yeah, because everybody else is saying like it never existed too. It never existed. But a lot of us remember it does. What? Nah, there's no way you guys remember phone home. E.T. phone home. Why would he say phone home? Because he's lost. Well, how does he know that? He just doesn't know English. Yo, everybody that agrees with me, we move dimensions, man. Gavin's from this dimension. And whoever's with me, I switch. Whoever's with me, stay on this dimension. We good over here. Holy shit, I switched, bro.
God, if you can hear me, please strike lightning anywhere over here. I just want a sign that you can hear me right now. Alright. I had to literally do this like 4 times. He already did it, but like that has to be full evidence, bro. But one more time, just for you guys, make sure, right? God, if you can hear me, strike lightning one more time. Oh, you see, there's no way. One more time. Those 2 times are so clear, bro. Hold on. God, if you can hear me, say it one more time, and then that's it. Just one more sign of lightning, and then I'm gonna leave. I don't know if that was lightning, was it? Okay, yeah, that is. Alright, yep.
Ha! New tree. What the heck?
Our generation might be cooked. So we just got the financial data from Coachella, and a staggering 60% of tickets this year were bought on finance. And it gets worse, because low-key, it's not even just a $600 festival ticket. We're kind of financing everything right now. See, a few years ago, it was largely the big-ticket items that cost thousands, like a TV, car, or computers. But in 2025, some of the companies that now offer buy now, pay later include DoorDash, Uber Eats, Shein, Target, and this one's crazy, even Chili's. Bro, how are we getting into debt over our dinner? But it might not all be our fault. You see, usually when there's a cost of living crisis, people have to tighten up on unnecessary spending because you're kind of forced to choose between rent and a festival. But the Coachellas and the Ubers of the world, they put their heads together and they said, how do we still make money? So they said, okay, you can't afford $50 on dinner tonight. So how about we do just $5 over 10 weeks? And it has worked well. By 2023, more than half of Gen Z in the US used BNPL services. In 2024, the US spent more with BNPL than the top 4 countries around the world combined. And by 2027, it's projected $450 billion will be spent this way globally. But debt is debt. And now only 26% of Gen Z believe that they'll own a home by age 35. So the question is buy now, pay later just a trick to get us to spend money we don't have? Or a genuinely convenient tool that allows us to survive through a cost of living crisis?
So
Not only own a house, but I'm anxious to see how many, even millennials, but especially Gen Zers, are going to be able to retire. Or, do all generations go through this where, eventually you start like, okay, I got to start saving for retirement, but like it's too late. Like, because like the boomers, they didn't really have, student loan debt. They didn't have credit card debt. They didn't really have car loan debt. You know what I'm saying? Like they do now. Now they're in hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt. By the time, the month's over, there's nothing to put into the savings account, into your 401k, into your Roth, right? So I'm anxious to see what my generation and the generation under me is going to look like when they're 60, 65, when that time comes, because who knows if in 40 years, Social Security is still going to be around. You know what I mean? Like you can't put your, all your money in, all your chips in on that and expect that when you're 65, because you never know, right? I'm anxious to see that, y'all. What do you guys think? What do you think the Gen Zers, even my millennials, are going to look like, in 30 years when it's time to, hang that hat up, hang that jersey up in the Raptors? What do you think they're going to look like?
Hear that right? Is there really a stage at Coachella that's called Mammon? Hold on. I really do hope that I misunderstood this. But so you're telling me that you're there with people who are a part of the occult, who are on a stage doing
Satanic
cantations, like RITUALS. There were all these like reports of snakes everywhere, which is the Kundalini spirit, by the way. And then I saw someone walking and talking about going to Mammon, the stage. Do you know what Mammon is? I need someone who knows. I need someone who knows. Because if that's true, I need you guys to look up what that is biblically.
Scientists have found a perfectly preserved dinosaur embryo inside of a fossilized egg. Wow.
How much is that bag over here?
This one, the B bag?
Yeah.
This one is going to be... Oops,
Oh,
sorry.
don't worry, brother.
4,100.
$4,000, y'all.
It's suede, that's right. So it's suede and leather.
Is that right? They're making those in China more cheaper?
Nah, I mean, all our product comes from Italy.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure you can make it in China, but you're not going to get the same expert craftsmanship.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, like, videos and stuff going around the internet.
I went out for 2 months soberly to bars while everyone was drunk. Here's how it went. One of the main things I realized is that everyone has the exact same conversation multiple times, and they don't realize they're having the exact same conversation because of how drunk they get. The amount of times I've had someone say the exact same thing to me and then say it 2 hours later because they forgot they already said it was mind-boggling to me. Number 2, nothing good ever happens after midnight. Get out of the bar. Nothing good ever happens.
It's true.
It's only bad decisions. Just leave, Irish goodbye. It's the best form of exit. Number 3, there are a lot of fucking creeps, so be careful out there, girls. Like, guys just stand there and stare and just... It's terrible, and I feel bad for you. And last but not least, number 4, sometimes you don't want another drink. You just want something in your hand. Get a Diet Coke or a water. You'll thank me in the morning.
Said if I have to go to China and allow China to now build if I go to DJI, I bet you they won't hesitate a moment to use linchpin. And then the U.S. is unable to use them. And then what happens to it? If I give my energy system to another country, what happens to it? The same energy system that they're trying to squash here. What happens to this place if I do that, which they're forcing me to do? Do you know that they took away my passport out of the blue? Just took away my passport. First, they said my passport, that I had some child support things, and I was like, that's some BS. Took 4 months to argue that I had no passport issues with child support. Then it's like, oh, it's your taxes. It's you owe taxes, so we're going to take away your passport. Why? So I couldn't go to Dubai. Why? So I couldn't go and get this stuff financed. It's all the suppression, and I'm like, okay. So after I'm done here today, when I get home, I'm going to put online the equations necessary to have a thing called unlimited energy, to be able to pull energy directly from the flux, just to say fuck you to the world. I'm going to show them how to pull energy directly from the flux.
Me and my friends on Rotten.com watching people die circa 1998.
Y'all remember Rotten.com?
And there is so much truth to this.
I thought about this before I think I've seen things that most people never saw.
Because of
the internet.
Early internet.
Yeah, it was just unhinged.
People don't use the internet like that anymore.
I saw things that you can't even talk about.
That's really weird. Why was this a thing? Why?
I just think because there was no one stopping them.
There wasn't as many things available on the internet the way there is today.
Yeah.
So
Dope
people
shirt.
just, for whatever reason, because humans are fucked up.
Yeah, we found this out.
Gravitated towards that. What the hell were we doing? I saw some wild shit.
Me too.
This is hilarious. One time I went to do some production for a Nashville artist named Haystack. Did you go down there with me?
Was it in the old?
It was an old warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah, we went to produce some music for Haystack when he was like blowing up, and these dudes were in the back room just watching that shit, and they called me in there and was like, check this out, and it was some wild shit that I'll never forget.
I'm gonna try to go back and work.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to make beats now after watching this beheading video. Thanks for that, bro.
Wouldn't it be crazy if there was a shooting at a university campus in America? It'd be crazy if there wasn't one at this point, sadly. And I guess it wouldn't be that crazy that Meta acted very swiftly in removing Eichner's account from the internet. It's not crazy that he stole his parents' gun to do the deed either. That's pretty, It is kind of crazy that his mother is a sheriff's deputy. It's kind of crazy that this guy was like training to be a cop too. But I gotta say, it would be kind of crazy if the Tallahassee police had warned the public about a training exercise which happened to be taking place at the exact time the shooting occurred. They warned the public to beware of loud bangs and other noises.
I mean, check this second tip. Tallahassee police warned the public about a training exercise Thursday. TAC team will conduct the training exercise on the 3000 block of South Adams Street from noon to 8 p.m. During the training session, may hear loud bangs, crashes, sirens, see officers like, what are the chances, y'all? We see this time and time and time again. 9/11, they had like a terrorist thing in the World Trade Centers the day before. All these other things like the fires in Palisades, right? They did something the day before. And then this. So when you do hear those, right during school time from noon to 8 o'clock, when you do hear those, you just, pay it no mind and don't even worry about it. Like, is it a coincidence? What do you guys think? I don't know, y'all. I would be asking questions if I was in that area for sure, or if my, God forbid, son or daughter was affected by that. Those are serious questions you got to ask.
This led to a confused and ultimately delayed response. But mainstream media seems more concerned with whether this guy was a liberal or a conservative. Maybe ask the right questions for once.
Britain just jailed a woman for a tweet. 31 months for words online. Lucy Connolly sentenced to nearly 3 years in prison, not for violence, not for theft, but for a social media post deemed offensive. This isn't justice, it's ideological punishment. In a country where repeat criminals walk free, where grooming gangs evade charges, one woman is thrown behind bars for speech. Her injustice shames Britain, says the Telegraph. This isn't about protecting society, it's about silencing dissent and enforcing obedience. If a tweet can cost you your freedom, you don't live in democracy, you live under tyranny.
made the Ouija board and we wrote a song about it. So we wrote a song about pretty much everything that we did.
Right.
And we stopped playing the Ouija board because like we was sitting on a bunk bed and Lazy was asking who was gonna die first in his family. And he was like, when he found out it was somebody that he didn't want, so he threw the Ouija board, and then they picked it back up, and then beds started falling down. So a whole bunch of stuff started happening.
So some real shit.
Right, I ain't fucking with that shit no more. So,
right.
You know, we learned our lesson hands-on. And then when Eazy-E, he was like, y'all got to do that song, man. I like that Ouija song y'all did, man. And then he started talking backwards. And then after he passed, here comes the marketing and the promotional train, and here comes the company.
Right.
You know what we need to do? Let's make some money off of it. So they put that mysterious back in the days when, you know, CD covers and reading CD covers was the thing to do. So, you know, that it just, and it manifested from there. And it, you know, I think it was a whole lot of.
Did that you feel like?
Yeah, the inspiration was like, I mean, the first Crossroads we made, if people don't know, like we did a Crossroads original one that was on our album. And that was for one of our homies that passed away in the hood. So he got killed trying to break up a fight. You know what I'm saying? He got killed. And so we did a song for him. But after Easy signed us, like we had started losing like a lot of our people. Like Wishbone, Uncle Charles got robbed and killed. You know what I'm saying?
I mentioned him on the record.
Lazy Bone lost his child.
God bless.
My cousin was murdered. One of our closest friends was murdered, and this is my brother-in-law.
In the Cleveland area?
Yeah, my brother-in-law was murdered, and every last one of them shot in the head. Every last one of them, except for Lazy's unborn child. Every last one of them shot in the head. Nobody never found for the murder. So it was like, yo, bro, we get on and we doing all this positive stuff, but all this negative shit is happening to us. Like we like, fuck is going on? So we like, we got to pay homage. Let's remix this song and pay them homage. Like we didn't do this song trying to win Grammys. Like we doing this song for the people that passed away,
right?
And for us to heal and their families. And that shit just was like.
And what does Crossroads actually mean? What does that word actually mean?
Man, Crossroads, like it's kind of funny because like you know like when we did this song, it's like it's. The song Crossroads is actually like you're gonna see the person again at some crossroads and stuff like that.
A road you're gonna cross together.
You know what I'm saying? But had I had the knowledge I have now, I probably never would have made the song.
Really?
Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't like
subscribe to that.
Yeah. I have
because you really
a lot more knowledge right now. You know what I'm saying?
What does Illuminati have to do with that? That's what when we Wikipedia you, they say you like Illuminati or you think niggas. No, he don't like them. You think niggas.
Early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Later on, he said, you know, This person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. We're told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music.
Like, do you guys know how deep that is, y'all? I wonder how many of these, not all rappers, right? There's some positive rappers, but they're not really in the mainstream. There's no famous, and I got some comments, I've said this before, no, there's this rapper, I've never heard of him. He's not mainstream, right? He's not walking through the mall, he's going to get mobbed. Like, I wonder how many of those rappers are invested in those stocks, knowing what they're doing. Or now is it just such they got it down to a rhythm, they got it down to a science where they don't have to tell them no more. It's just what they do because they've evolved to that. No one wants to hear positive rap, right? I do now that I'm 35, but I wonder if they still got the knowledge, these new rappers, and if they're investing in these stocks. That's selling your soul, yo.
Is barbarism. This is inhumanity on
This
a
is crazy,
scale
y'all.
that I thought had been consigned to the history books. This is behavior so disgusting, so despicable, to the point where Israeli citizens, politicians, and public figures, when presented with evidence.
I don't think people are going to believe this, and I don't think this video is going to get any views, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Did you know that everything that we were taught about fertilization as far as making babies, like the sperm fertilizes the egg, it's a lie? Fact number one, the egg itself actually releases a chemical to attract the sperm it wants. And when the other sperms try to come to the egg, it will literally decapitate them or send out bad chemicals so the sperm dies off. Meaning it is not the sperm that selects the egg. It is actually the egg that selects the sperm. Also, the egg is significantly larger than the sperm. A lot bigger. So what they're now realizing is it's not actually about strong swimmers. It's about compatibility. Does my egg like your sperm?
Oh lord, the reason that this Kenyan man hitched a ride on a helicopter at a wedding is actually wild. So recently, a famous musician was getting married. So he had a big traditional wedding with music, food, dancing, and of course, a lot of celebrity guests. One of which was a massive YouTuber who turned up in a freaking helicopter to shorten the 7-hour drive from Nairobi. But when it came time to leave, one of the guests, who I'm not even sure was invited, approached the passengers knowing that they were wealthy and asked for money. When they refused, he asked them to at least give him a ride to Nairobi. When they refused again, he actually had to be removed by security. But that did not stop the bicycle repairman and father of two, because somehow he returned. And bro said, I am not taking no for an answer. When the pilot eventually noticed, he quickly made an emergency landing, dropping him off unharmed in a nearby field. Shocked that he actually survived, locals ran to him and lifted him up in the air in celebration. Now he has since been arrested for putting the passengers' lives in danger, but refused to apologize, saying that it was exhilarating. He said he usually relies on donkeys for transport, so the flight marked a historic moment for him. He even managed to keep his slippers and claimed that he could have lasted the entire 65-minute flight.
There's like a fucking seal or a fucking otter in this fucking... right there. Where is it? Look at that face. Look at that face. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. What are you... One very interesting thing that I learned from my dad is that most men do not wear sunglasses because they look cool. He wears sunglasses while he's driving, while he's in public, while he's going to meetings. So one day I asked him, I say, Dad, why do you wear the sunglasses? Why do you even tell me I should do the same? And he says that even when the lips are closed, your eyes say 1,000 words.
The truth or lies.
Recently I've read a quote that said, showing any sort of emotion is the equivalence to bleeding next to a shark. And now I understand.
Did vampires come from the Nephilim?
Well, vampires are real in the occult. Dracula is a more modern type of the literature that's going to hold the belief system and their history within it. So you have, Dracula, for example, as the son of a dragon. It goes back to Greek for drakont and drakonta, which means watcher, as in watcher angel. It's everywhere. People just don't recognize the links of it. And of course, the giants, both before and after the flood, and secret societies probably at the adept level even today, would drink blood. And they were drinking blood to extend their life after Genesis 6:3 shortened all lifespan to 120 years. And they also used it secondarily to provide additional cognitive abilities. And so they preyed on humans not only to eat them before the flood, but to drink their blood. And then after the flood, they had to do things a little bit more in secrecy, as they were needing humankind to survive because they had a fertility issue after the flood.
Have we learned nothing? Have we learned nada? We all remember, we can all recall what happened in Astroworld. That was a massacre, that was a monstrosity, that was a wicked event. Okay, that's when he showed his true colors, his true colors, okay? I haven't been following him as an artist, like he is one of the last artists I've ever thought about, really. But that opened my eyes to who he was as a person and who he is as a person. Seeing this, it's just like, why is your theme always hell? It's always hellish and it's always hellbound. It looks like these people are hanging upside down and then falling into hell. Like it's like a hell simulation almost. Why is this always a theme? Because we know who his father is, and it ain't Jesus. He's letting you know who gave him the rights to his fame and fortune, who led him to, he's showing you. And it's like he's always collecting energy, harvesting energy from the crowd or from just his sets. Like it's just always so dark and devious. Some artists will trick you and you're like, dang, I didn't even know they was going down like that. Like I had to learn, who their master was behind the scenes. But some people are just upfront, and he is upfront. He is an upfront soldier, okay? Up front on the front lines. He will let you know who he is working for all the time. It's just evil. Evil. I don't even know how even people can sit there and watch this.
Me neither.
Even in the crowd. Like you have to be completely lost. Like you have to be completely oblivious. Even some people in the comments like, you guys are overthinking. Really? It doesn't take much to think with this. This doesn't take a scientific notion to come to the conclusion that this man is a devil worshiper on the highest level. And he is wicked.
What's going to happen to this? Then what I'll do is I'll wait for a more progressive administration, and more importantly, I'll wait for bad times. When bad times come, then I'll get whatever I want.
And if that happens, I'll bet he will.
Teleportation gone wrong, right? The Philadelphia experiment. I know you had to hear about this. It was about a Navy SEAL that transported through time. Like the U.S. Navy allegedly conducted an experiment that made the USS Eldridge vanish, and then it reappeared. But the crew, some were still fusing to the metal. Others went insane. A glitch in reality is what they want to call it. Or is it just the government tampering with forces beyond their control? Look it up. That's all I'm saying.
So the newest celebrity to mock God live in concert is none other than Shakira. During her live concert, Shakira introduces the 10 commandments of the she-wolf during her performance of her song She-Wolf. Not only does this just look satanic, but the contents of these 10 commandments are satanic. The first commandment says, you will take care of your herd above all else. The second one says, you will not ask permission to be yourself. The third one says, get this, you will dance and sing to heal, for healing. The last time I checked, the Bible says that by Jesus' stripes, I'm healed. Number 4 says, you will howl because no one can silence you. Number 5 says, a she-wolf doesn't attack, she defends herself. The 6th commandment says a she-wolf doesn't compete with others. They protect each other, so it's this feminist kind of thing going on. Catch this, number 7. You will not renounce your wild spirit. That kind of sounds like the opposite of deliverance, right? Same word we use in deliverance to cast out unclean spirits. Shakira is saying you will not renounce your wild spirit. In other words, your rebellious spirit. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, right? Number 8, you will choose your own path without anyone imposing it on you. Forget God, right? I will choose my own path. This is sounding like the 10 Commandments of New Age feminism to me, if I'm being honest. And then the last two, 9, is a she-wolf will not covet the possessions of others. And number 10, a she-wolf is a she-wolf forever. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, what the heck is a she-wolf? What is this? In mystical symbolism, she-wolves represent this untamed, wild femininity, this rebellious nature of a woman. They also represent sensuality and primal energy. So think lust and perversion. As women of God, we're called to be modest and obedient to God, gentle, wise. When will these celebrities learn that it is not cute, trendy, or cool to mock God? Is it just another ritual to help her gain higher up in the ranks of the occult? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But either way, this is sad to see and so disappointing. Pray with me that Shakira gives her heart to Jesus and stops mocking him. If you like this video, go ahead and follow for more, like it, share it with somebody who needs to hear this. And if you like this type of content, my brand new book exposing witchcraft, the occult, and all sorts of stuff like this is coming out soon, and you can pre-order it in the link in my bio. It's called Breaking Demonic Chains, and it is all about exposing witchcraft, evil, and wickedness in the culture. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed.
4 books that every person should read. First one, Contagion Myth by Dr. Tom Cowan. How viruses and germs are not jumping all over, and basically what you do to your body is what determines your health. Secondly, The Invisible Rainbow by Arthur Fistenberg. How cell phone towers and all this nonsense that they want to sell you hurts people. That's basically what it is. It's all tested on a plastic dummy. Third, Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mullins goes into how Rothschilds and bankers orchestrate everything. Orchestrate the wars, every single thing you can think of. They own all the divisions. Bankers. Last one, Murder by Injection by Eustace Mullins. So you can understand what's going on with our current system that's all about saving us and pretending to save us. And now trying to do stuff with the bird flu. Same playbook, 1976 swine flu. So those 4 books are life changers so that you can take off the blinders and see through the nonsense.
Here are some facts that may ruin your childhood. All the animals that we loved in those kids' films are absolutely, most definitely, all dead. Also, the average lifespan of a lion is 15 years, so Simba is also definitely dead. One of the animal actors who played Flipper, a dolphin named Kathy, was so lonely and mistreated that she unalived herself. I know it, and now you know it too. The actor who voiced Peter Pan, Bobby Driscoll, died penniless in an apartment complex at the age of 31. Why do I make these videos? Dr. Seuss cheated on his first wife, Helen Palmer, and she was so heartbroken that she unalived herself. She said, and I quote, "I'm too old to conceive of a life without you." Dr. Seuss. What the That terrible dictator of World War II was obsessed with Snow White. Well, he did have a thing for the fairest of them all, didn't he? Puts a bad taste in my mouth for this film. Lilo and Stitch, The Ring. Same actress. Same actress. This isn't a bad one. I actually think this is kind of awesome. Remember the scene where E.T. comes into the kitchen drunk? Well, that was played by 12-year-old Matthew Demerit, who was born without legs. If something like that happens to you, you might as well play E.T. You know what I mean? That's freaking awesome. I felt the need to leave you with a positive one. Like and follow for more.
We have to remember that we learned from some of the best. They had some white boys came over here that did the first beheadings in Point Coupee, Louisiana, where I'm from. Slave insurrection, that was the way you dealt with it. Tuskegee syphilis incident. We're going to see how black men die if they have syphilis, but we pretend we treat them with penicillin, and we're just going to watch the pathology of how they die. Now, that wasn't back 200 years ago. That was 1930 to 1974. We're talking about giving these wonderful blankets to the Native Americans infected with smallpox as they walked on that trail of tears just to see how they die and to eliminate their population so we can take all of that land. So the violence that is in America has come from a very learned position that was brought here by some Caucasian folks. All right?
I had the opportunity to invest in Uber. Me too. In early stages. Listen, Mark.
I'm gonna one up you on this one. Go ahead.
This makes me so mad. Women have asked me for $50,000 to $75,000, and that would have been, you know, 100.
Just think if I would have given him,
if you had to give him
$250,000 on a $5 million or $10 million valuation, it'd be billions. I mean, I've done okay, but still, it was like.
What do you feel is the biggest miss? from Shark Tank.
You know, people think it's ring. I don't. Yeah, most entrepreneurs can't raise $300-400 million. To me, the one that got away personally was NeuroGum.
Coffee's great, but it doesn't fit in your pocket, and you don't want to be running around with it.
Oh, and don't get me started on energy drinks.
If you watch this video on how they make a Snicker bar and you still buy one, you're a fucking idiot. I'll tell you why. It's full of sugar, seed oils, dyes, mold, chemicals, additives, preservatives, ultra-processed nonsense. What it does, it tricks your brain into thinking that you're eating something good, an innocent snack, but in reality, it's not. It's got pesticides, and it makes you crave more because it's all sugar. Guys, this is not good for your health. If you're eating this, you're a fool. You need to really wake the fuck up.
You were down to 13,000, but in the next 300 days, you made $7 million.
$7 million, and it's steady rolling.
How does someone make $7 million in a year?
The internet, bro. While I'm talking to you, I probably done made $2,000, $3,000. That's no lie. And it's residual. Like, you know, everybody who make content understand the content game. I never had a business like this in my life, and the people watch it for free. So, like, I don't have to sell my fan base nothing. It really changed my life to the point. It ain't just about the money. I got the time.
Like, that's the dope thing about YouTube, y'all. Like, you guys, I don't make you guys pay to watch. It's free. You don't got to pay to subscribe. You don't got to pay to hit the like button. It's pretty dope, y'all. Like, it's like, this is like the only business where the consumer doesn't have to pay. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to pay for a ticket to watch me. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope. So shouts out to all you guys that are sitting here watching Segovia on a nice Saturday evening. Y'all, I appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? Thank you guys.
Like, stop eating the food.
Stop eating the food.
But you can't cure it. Stop eating the food. It's in the food.
Ah.
It is.
Wow. But listen, everybody don't know this. You know it, but I don't. You know, I'm like, hey, you gotta survive. Like,
everybody know and don't want to know. They want what's good for them. I told you, people addicted. They won't stop eating this because that tastes good. Man, I like the way that burger tastes. It can't be fake. They addicted.
You ain't lying.
So, say everybody just went on a fast, like a 7-day. What would happen if you went on a fast and just stopped eating for like 7 days?
I'll tell you what happened, right?
So yesterday, I made a video asking you guys to tell me what your favorite...
I just want to let you guys know, I don't cut those clips out. That's just how this is my first time watching it with you guys that I'm watching this. I watch like the first 10 seconds of a clip. It's good. I put it on. If it's terrible, I'll remove it while I'm editing, but just know I don't cut them off because I don't want you guys to hear something. That's just how the TikTok was, y'all.
Conspiracy theory is or crazy story. And one of you guys mentioned something about cemeteries. Well, it didn't take me long because I opened up my app this morning and I saw a video. This is obviously not my story, but I will not be tagging the creator because I watched his entire video. And during the video, while I was jotting down some of the comments, he immediately turned off the comment section because he's scared. He did make a follow-up video because after I was done watching that video, I saw the video and he said that he got scared. And so he did turn off the comments, but luckily I wrote down some of the comments, but let me tell you what the actual story was. Again, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not even my story. I'm just telling you guys a story that I heard on TikTok. This man works a part-time job at a cemetery digging graves. And one day his director came up to him and was like, you need to help me move this casket. It was crooked or it was buried improperly. So they started digging. 2 guys picked up this casket to move it. And the guy was like, he asked his director, why is this casket so light? And the director said, don't ask questions that you're not prepared to hear the answer for. And he ended the conversation at that. That's a very open-ended answer that leaves your brain to be wondering a lot. So I went to the comment section. And one of the very top comments, it was a woman that said, In my entire life, I have never seen a brand new cemetery ever be opened or the land plotted for a cemetery. And the creator of the video said, "And you never will." Another commenter said that Alabama has made it legal to liquefy bodies and put it in their water system. Now, again, I do not know if that is true. I am simply repeating comments that I saw before he turned the comments off. The search bar in the video, you know, the blue search bar, said soylent. The creator of this video also made a follow-up video saying that his boss called him and was mentioning that his daughter saw the video. I think that's what scared him, because it went so viral. And the only backlash he was getting on that video that got like 3-point-something million views was from funeral directors. Nobody else, just funeral directors. I don't think this man was prepared for it to get that much exposure. I think he was telling his truth and what he's experienced, and I don't think he saw anything wrong with that. But now he's afraid. And he does not seem like the type of guy from watching his other content that is doing this for clout. You don't do anything for clout and then turn the comments off. This man is genuinely afraid. So what do you guys think? What do you think of all this?
Thank you guys to everybody that sent those emails in of the actual clip. Now, I made this video you're watching today. I created it yesterday before you guys watched that video. So those clips will be on tomorrow's video. I haven't made tomorrow's video yet. When I'm done with this, I'm going to get working on it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Tried to record this video 4 times. 4 times, and every single time I press it back play, the original sound is gone and I cannot use captions. I just keep thinking about in the back of my mind how Jack Black released a movie in December where he was Satan. And not even 10 minutes into that movie, Jack Black referenced and made a mockery out of it, right? And now, flash forward to April of 2025, Jack Black is starring in the #1 movie in the entire world marketed to children, the Minecraft movie. Can any of you make the connection? Not to mention, not Steve, right? The agenda has always been after our children, and there's never been a divide between children and adults in the entertainment industry.
We had a buddy that had gone bass fishing. Him and his dad had gone bass fishing. They're in the wee hours of the morning. It's right as the sun's coming up. They're making their way around. He said, we got the trolling motor in. He said, I'm at the back of the boat. Dad's at the front of the boat. And we're just cruising around with these reeds, just pitching and flipping up into it. He said, at one point, Dad goes, what's that? 20 foot from the boat. He said, he sees something dark crouched over. They thought it was a pig at first, right by the edge of the water. He said, this thing looks up at him, stands up. They're 30 foot from it at this point. Turns, takes 2 steps and is behind a tree, and then leans out from behind the tree and starts looking at him. And they are both looking right at it. And they said this thing looked like a jet black, dirty, giant monkey man that stood up from the water's edge and walked in. They popped the motor back up, turned around, and just left. He proceeded within the year to sell all of his fishing gear, all of his hunting gear, and he never went back in the woods again. He died 7 years later of cancer, and that man swore to it until the day he died.
Have you followed the Jaguar debate that's going on right now?
No.
It's a great one, man. So defining it's one okay, where do I back up? I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you something that's like objectively true.
Okay.
It's objectively true that we had a population of jaguars in the United States of America up until the 1800s, right? They just were. What's debated is, was it how stable was it? How widespread was it? Some people would point to, well, like basically limited to southern Arizona. Some people would look and be, well, West Texas, New Mexico, southern Arizona. What about members of the Coronado expedition drawing a distinction between lions and jaguars all the way up like toward the Platte River? Okay, like why would they say both? You know what I mean? Like, what are they confusing?
Where's the Platte River?
Oh, so in the more in the southern plains, the southern Great Plains of the United States, flowing across Kansas, Okay.
Oh, wow.
Where you have instances of people mentioning things that you sort of like looking at, like, man, if they weren't talking about Jaguar, what the hell are they talking about?
How do they describe it?
Leopards.
Mm.
Okay. And a lot of times someone will say there'll be a reference to a large cat, and you can't rule out, well, maybe in the historic record, they're probably talking about mountain lions. But what do you do in a case where you have a historic record and someone is in some oddball place, southern Colorado, and they're talking about they have lions and leopards?
Oh, wow.
And lions and leopards. So it's like, guess we're talking, I mean, they have to be referring to jaguars.
Justin Bieber is finding out just what happens to you when you try to walk away from the system that built you. Because right now, if you Google anything about Justin Bieber, it is all negative. They're saying his marriage is on the rocks, that he's in tens of millions of dollars of debt. The Hollywood Reporter is insinuating that he's suffering from a crisis in faith. But is any of that actually true? Because if we zoom out, we know that for years, Justin has been trying to get out of these horrible contracts that he signed with these record companies when he was a young kid, including trying to get out of a contract with his longtime manager, Scooter Braun. And over the past couple days, there have been rumors flying around online about a publicist named Stephanie Jones and how she's coordinating this attack against Justin Bieber, this smear campaign, on behalf of her client, Scooter Braun. And this morning, I got off the phone with a source very close to Justin's team, confirming that that rumor is true. Justin is trying to extricate himself from these contracts, and now Hollywood is fighting back. And Stephanie Jones, who represents a bunch of celebrities, including Tom Brady, let's just say if she's not your friend, she's your enemy. She's described as taking this no-holds-bar approach, super aggressive. She calls it championing the causes of our clients. Her PR team was at the heart of the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni drama, and now it seems that she's got her crosshairs on Justin Bieber. Now look, it's easy to write this off as celebrity drama. Rich people with rich people problems. But to me, this is really a universal story about what happens to people when they take on the system. Whether it's entertainment, finance, politics, the system will always work overtime to destroy them. And I'm choosing to talk about this now because every time a story like this gets exposed, the system loses a little bit of its power. And when enough of us are finally looking, that's when we have a chance to really take the system down.
This is real. This isn't a joke. I thought this was a joke all day. I just sent this to my friends. I was like, is this real? And they were like, yeah.
No way. No way that's real.
What do you mean this is... Who made this decision? Do they still have a job? Do they still have a job? And who made this decision? And what was their thought process?
People are going to get loans for Netflix now.
For real. What was the thought process behind this one?
There is a story about giants in Death Valley. These two amateur archaeologists, they heard these legends regarding this ancient underground city where giants used to roam. So these two dudes, Dr. Bruce and Dr. Daniel, they were just exploring all through Death Valley, and they found this really, really small opening of a cave. So they went down in. They said it was polished stone, like it was perfect. And one of the first caverns that they found, they call it the Hall of Giants, and it was basically these preserved mummies of these giants, hundreds of them, ranging from like 8 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Just weird stuff. And then another room that they went into apparently had these preserved, mummified, extinct animals. They had dinosaurs in it, saber-toothed tigers, mammoths. But it gets crazier. They said that they explored it for a total of 15 years. Didn't want to tell anyone about it. So they got all these investors together and they wanted to start a company called Amazing Explorations. He brought these investors to the caves to see it, and they're like, whoa, what the heck? This is insane. But it was very secretive. So like only Dr. Russell knew the exact entrance of this cave. Shortly after that, an article came out talking about this underground labyrinth, ancient giants, all this stuff. And he said, I'm going to do a press conference. I'm going to bring artifacts from the cave and we're going to expose the whole thing.
Yeah.
On his way out to collect those artifacts, disappeared.
Oh boy.
He was just gone. And they never found him.
They want to put the trash in space. I cannot emphasize enough. Gail said that they want to put the fucking trash in outer space. And I feel like people are ignoring this to tone police Gail because, yes, was Gail wrong? Yeah, who the fuck are you talking to? Have you been there, bitch, space? No, I haven't, and I'm not going. I seen how you was looking terrified. I don't want to fucking go. But she also said that Blue whatever the fuck is doing, research so that they can clean up the earth via taking the waste on Earth
into outer space. And I also cannot emphasize enough, the United States does not own everything. We don't fucking own space. That's why there's an international space system, because it does not, space station. It does not belong to one fucking person. If we put a water bottle in fucking space, it's not going to levitate above America and America only. And the fact that Jeff fucking Bezos, which y'all were like, oh, it's not SpaceX, it's Blue Origin. What the fuck is the difference? These fucking billionaires are overly invested in space when people down here don't have fucking clean drinking water and they want to pollute the next fucking thing.
The difference between gas prices in Nevada and California, that is Nevada per gallon.
Still expensive.
I cleaned up and drove over to California, which is about 20 miles to cross the border, and here you go. And gas prices here are $6.49. So a difference of $2.50 a gallon. $6.49. I'm getting gas here, but to fill up my truck, the difference in 20 miles is $40 every fill up.
Small coffee, medium coffee cup. Look.
The comments said this wasn't real.
Wow. Yeah. So now medium, large, watch. No way. So this is to do with the circumference on the bottom of the cup. So interestingly, whenever you buy yourself a large coffee, you're actually just getting a small. Weird.
Like the comments were saying they tried it, it wasn't true. Like, couldn't Starbucks sue this guy? Because that video was viral, y'all. He's got millions of views on that. Couldn't Starbucks like sue him for that? Right?
This is the whole
It's a
thing where it
dangerous
dives
game.
into the UFO phenomenon. Why have we not gotten disclosure? That's a big question everybody should ask. If it's just aliens, guys, it's not the 90s anymore. Like, aliens existing are not some big taboo thing.
Right.
Spoiler alert, aliens probably exist, guys. I don't know where they come from, whatever, if they're visiting us or not, but they're out there somewhere. With a big universe, there's life everywhere. Aliens existing, not that crazy. Having anti-gravity plasma orbs that can teleport planes, that's pretty miraculous. Especially if that leads to free energy, then that's really miraculous, and that changes everything about our whole planet that's out there. So the reason why we potentially have a disclosure isn't aliens, has nothing to do with aliens. It's not.
It changes our world for the better, right? For everybody. Everybody can have, people that don't have electricity can have electricity for free. We can have free electricity, better environment, right? Global warming, right? You see, I put that, people, I put that, but still, it's better, right? Probably way more organic too. Money, y'all. Say it all the time. That's what it comes down to.
This national security issue or whatever, but if we find out that we helped out Lockheed Martin because they were our preferred defense contractor of choice, maybe we gave them something that helped them figure out anti-gravity or whatever. Now there's major legal liability. Why? Because the other companies that weren't Lockheed Martin, that didn't get that preferential treatment, can sue the crap out of Lockheed Martin and the government, because that is plain favorites. Government's not allowed to do that in free market. This is really where the real legal liability comes in. It's kind of sad that civil liability might be a bigger issue for against disclosure than all the criminal crap that we've done to try to cover it up, including, at minimum, the abduction of 239 people, but possibly the murder of 239 people on that plane.
You were 100% sure that Richard Hoffman, your grandpa, was the Zodiac killer.
I'm not 99.9 no more, I'm 100%.
Zodiac, a symbol that now stands for terror.
One of America's most notorious serial killers.
The Zodiac Killer.
Zodiac Killer.
Leaving clues, sending letters directly to the police and news stations. And for nearly 50 years, no one has come close to figuring out who the Zodiac Killer was. Every few years, some new evidence or suspects would appear, but there was never enough evidence to prove it. But this time, seems different. A man named Jay Foy posted a series of TikToks.
My grandpa is the mother Zodiac Killer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I was younger that grills were basically bulletproof, and I don't recall my dad ever having to get a new grill just randomly. I've had this grill for probably about a year and a half. Let me show you.
Now, it's a great grill. It does what it's supposed to do.
with one exception.
Huh?
I don't think that should have happened.
Why can't you run for president?
There's stipulations. You have to get 4 county councils, which are controlled by the government parties, or you have to get 20 nominations of the Oireachtas, which are all mostly party affiliates.
So you can't just run for president?
You can't just run for president.
So how is it a democracy?
We are not a democratic country. And they'll have to answer to their constituents at some stage. There will be accountability.
Are you going to do it anyway? You're maybe the most famous living Irishman, and you're saying things that the overwhelming majority of your politicians will not say. What do you think they're going to do to you if you keep talking this way?
Attempt to tarnish as they are and move forward under God. And my nation can see.
You're really not afraid at all?
Not an iota. That is one of my issues here in Ireland and the people of Ireland, the overspending that's going on. This is our public wealth being administered into private hands, enriching people to bring in this influx of illegal mass migration that is changing the fabric of my country. Ireland is very close to losing its Irishness, and we will not let that happen.
Where'd the rocket go? Like, how does a space capsule disconnect from the rocket? The rocket missed hitting the space capsule as somehow the space capsule disconnects. How did all that happen? Does anybody know? And the other thing is, wouldn't the capsule coming back down be at a speed to where, you know, a tiny parachute wouldn't slow that sucker down? None of it makes any sense. So, any of you scientists, folks out there that can explain to me the capsule separating from the rocket not running into the capsule, and how the capsule then came back down to Earth safely with this one little bitty parachute, I would be so appreciative. And don't even get me started on the door. I mean, not pressurized.
That's the bike. Yeah, there's a bike on it. There's nobody there.
Tesla drivers, have you guys tried this? Is this legit?
Yo, that's creepy.
The way no one would give a shit about this photo if it were posted today, if this were to happen in 2025. If you were there, if you were around for this moment, you know this like broke the internet, and it was the most liked tweet on Twitter of all time. And now when I look at it, I'm like, oh, we know about that guy, we know about that guy, we know the truth about her. Like but yeah, like the moment that society shifted was when those celebrities posted that tone deaf video of, I can't remember what the song was, but they posted that video, you know what I'm talking about, right when COVID started, and everybody was like so tired of their shit because they're so fucking disconnected from reality and so out of touch. But yeah, like this photo, no one would give a shit. We didn't turn.
Nobody would care, but it would still get 1 million damn likes, right? I mean, go look at Facebook on TikTok. 0 post, following 0, but has like 100 million followers. Not 100 million, but it's got like 100,000 followers. Like, people ain't following Facebook. It's just, I guess they're bots, I'm guessing. I don't know.
21 into a furniture store. They are literally
Look what they're selling, y'all.
Fixtures, furniture, and store equipment. I gotta go see it. I'm about to get me a couch.
Look what they're selling.
On. They really are selling the
That's
fixtures,
ridiculous.
furnitures, and equipment. Not they selling the racks
Look at
too. A box of hangers for $25. Hold up, how much is this little table? Girl, that's only $80. Girl, I cannot. Y'all, not the ladder for sale too. $20 for $40. Do y'all think the clothes come with the rack? Is the lights for sale too? Wait, this is a little cute. $150? I am shocked. Child, I am astonished.
That's crazy.
I'm about to bake a cake. Girl, y'all better come over here and get this furniture.
Let me know if this is real, y'all. Have you guys tried it?
I really wish
wish that Obama or Biden was bold enough to go, hey, Bezos, why don't you take over the USPS system and create Amazon inside of our government? Why isn't Zuck, who's so good at connecting people socially, taking over education and public schools? And why isn't Meta and Apple teaming up to make every kid in every underprivileged neighborhood in the world, give that to them? Don't go fund transgender plays in Scotland and like transgender freaking LGBTQ like propaganda in Colombia, which we all know is just them paying cartels.
Yo, one of the crazy, like, why ain't they teaming up? But even more than that, why isn't the left and the right teaming up for the better of the people, for the better of America, and putting their two brains together and coming together, y'all, and changing society? They can't do that. Because guess what? They come together, we all come together. They can't have that. Divide and conquer.
Next, as I heard, was the one with Israel Adesanya and his girlfriend. Whoa, what happened there? You ever heard about this one?
Israel Adesanya scammed his girl or what?
Yo, so his girl, she tried taking millions of dollars, wanted half of his wealth, because she claimed that when they were together, that's when he became champion, that's when he became successful, all these brand deals came in. So he was suing for half because they separated.
Okay.
But they were under like a common law type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Not actually married. Even still, she was trying to sue and she had a valid case.
Damn.
But little did she know, Israel Adesanya put all of his wealth and the UFC contract and all of his money under his mom's name.
Really?
Yeah. So she ended up having to pay him, I think like $300,000 of her own wealth because she wanted to separate and do the half and half thing. So she has to give half of her wealth to Israel Adesanya because he didn't have any money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was all under his mom.
People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Talking of all you it was a big year for our movies. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. 5th time. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it, I didn't, you did it.
Before I send it back, any last messages to the astronauts before they take off? I think just great luck, be present. I mean, I'm so excited. I love the messaging that we keep receiving from the staff here at Blue Origin is don't film it through your phones, look through your eyes, be as present as possible. They will supply all the content that we need and to give to our families, but I love just being in the moment.
Yeah, same. And we're gonna, we're so excited. We're gonna be in the moment too.
How do you feel about people boycotting the Dodgers over going to see the president at the White House?
This shit is just crazy to me. So let me get this straight. You're going to boycott the Dodgers. We're going to go meet the president. But you're okay with these groups. They had a celebration or a day at Dodger Stadium that fucking mock Catholicism and Christianity. That's okay. No big deal.
Yeah.
But holy shit, if you go fucking visit the White House, we're gonna boycott you. That's some bullshit to me.
So you don't agree with it?
No, I don't agree with it. So what, bro? He is the president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, it does not matter. If Biden would have been there, I would go. It wouldn't matter. It's the president. So what?
Yeah.
But no, because it's Biden and it fits their narrative and all the bullshit that they try to. Every time something that has to do with fucking Trump comes up, it's always negative. I just feel it's like, come on, bro.
Flowers. Like, I bet it wasn't even the actual Dodger fans that are saying we're boycotting it. It was just probably the media blowing it up, posting things. And because I don't think none of those Dodger fans care where they went to go see who or what, right? I mean, I know I wouldn't. I don't know if Biden was in. I don't care if you guys go over there and take pictures with. Like, I ain't gonna be like, I ain't gonna watch. A lot of people are like that though. It's crazy. I have people unfollow me because a little post I'll post on here, like entertainment purposes only, y'all. But so much people fly either on this side or this side, and if you ain't on my side, you're done to me, right? Which is mind-boggling to me. We've come so far together, you're just gonna walk away from me?
This sonic sound that only the bee can hear. And then the bee goes in, and when it takes all the nectar out, the flower gives off a different sound, and that lets the other bees know that there's no nectar in it right now. And they communicate on this amazing fucking level that we can't even hear. Mind-blowing. And then you go to the comment section, and then it just was all about religion. And people see this, and they say there's not a God. It's like, all right, so let me get this straight. You can ignore what's going on in the Gaza Strip, the Ukraine, what's been going on in Iraq for 20 fucking years, and all it takes is one bee hearing a flower say, "Hey, man, there's some nectar in here," and then you just think that there's like how do you balance out the flower bee thing with war?
They can't. It's like
they know. You know what they do? They say the devil. They're the fucking devil. They're listening to the devil. Those people are the devil. They're evildoers and stuff. It's like, no, that's all God's responsibility. He made all of this.
Like, we didn't have technology, so our house was very quiet. There's no refrigerators running. There's no TV on. So everything you do as a kid, you're playing with blocks where you're using your mind to make your imagination happen, to where kids now will sit and watch a TV for hours and the TV is controlling their imagination, so to speak. So from that aspect, I'm appreciative of it because it did change the way I think. I think a little bit more left brain now. Wife says I'm way different. So she sees the impact more than I do.
Right.
But yeah, that was, but then from a religious perspective, I obviously disagree with them and don't want to raise my kids thinking they're going to hell for driving a car.
Right.
So
crazy.
So are you, so can you go back to that community ever? Or are you still friends with people who are Amish or?
I see my dad. I've seen him once in the past, 7 years. I probably could see him more if I chose to. I see I see my Amish siblings once every couple of years. I still have, there was 9 of us, so I still have 2 brothers and 2 sisters that are Amish. I haven't seen the sisters in many years, but the brothers, I've seen both of them within the last year or so. But if I was to go hang out there, we were from uber conservative Amish, like the second most conservative in the United States. So if I was to go hang out at their house, show up there 2 or 3 times a year, they'd probably be like, "Hey, how about you don't come for a little bit?" So.
Yeah, you got to tone it down.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Nothing much going on today, y'all. It's the last day of 3 days in a row of ugly dust storm, windy days. The wind is blowing out there, blowing so much that my house must be moving because my microphone was kind of shaking the whole damn video. I don't know what that's about, but it's super windy out there. I can hear it, so I'm not doing nothing today. Finally, tomorrow, and it looks like all of next week is going to be nice, sunny, no wind. So I'm excited for that. Get back out there on the mountain. I could go hike, y'all, but if I look out this window, I probably can't even see my neighbor's house across the street. That's how bad these dust storms are out here. So I'm just going to relax today, probably not even cook something on my grill because it's full of dirt. You know what I mean? So let me know what's going on today on your Saturday, y'all. Be safe, be happy, spend some time with family tomorrow. But don't worry, I'm gonna see you guys on tomorrow's video when you guys are all stuffed, sitting at home. Video will be uploaded tomorrow evening, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Later.